Hey, what's up, guys? We are back at it again with a brand new balance update. So Clash Royale just buffed Giant, so he is super thick now. He's going to be able to tank for graveyards in so many more situations, allowing the graveyard skeletons to get more damage on tower. So Giant Graveyard is stronger than ever, and this is by far the best version. The other champions, Archer Queen and Golden Knight, got a nerf. But now the Skeleton King is left alone and Clash Royale didn't touch him. And he is way too strong with Giant Graveyard. When your skeletons from your Witch, your Skeleton Army, or the Graveyard die, the Skeleton King collects all the souls, allowing you to throw more skeletons back at your opponent. It's an endless cycle of skeletons that your opponent can never stop. For me, this is the best deck for Grand Challenges and Classic Challenges to upgrade more cards. So if you want to level up your cards fast, this is definitely the deck that I would recommend. But if you want to play this deck on ladder where you don't have Skeleton King unlocked and maybe your Witch isn't that high level, you can always sub out the Witch for a Musketeer and the Mini Pekka for the Skeleton King, and that is still a deck that's played at top ladder. No matter what, Giant Graveyard is one of the best decks in the game, so let's go jump straight into matches and assert dominance. I upload daily videos on the channel, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss out. And a huge thanks to everyone that's using creator code SIRTAG to support the channel. Onwards and upwards, guys. We got a game here. Oh, he's already going to give us some laughter. I mean, maybe he knows what's going to happen to him. Maybe he knows he's going to get trashed and thrashed by the Skeleton King. I'm going to drop my Skeleton King in the back, and he immediately goes in for a Giant. So, usually in this type of scenario, it's going to be better for me to go in for, like, a Skeleton Army in the left-hand side, and then get him to use his spell on that. Then we can Skeleton King up close and personal to our opponent. I think he's going to zap, arrows, or snowball, and now we have a full collection of Skeleton King skeletons. This Skeleton King is built for this. He is ready for it. I'm not going to use his ability, though, because it would go right into a Dark Prince, so it's actually not worth it. I completely baited you guys there. I baited myself. I really wanted to use the ability, but then I realized it just wasn't a vibe. If we snowball back the Musketeer, I should have snowballed it a little bit better. I think I'm going to take more damage because I didn't get the full force of the snowball. Like, the tower wasn't able to shoot the Musketeer for a period of time because I pushed too far away. It is what it is. We bounce back just like that snowball, and we'll make it happen. Usually, if we keep the Witch alive, we're able to get a ton of Skeleton King skeletons. So this might be our opportunity to make it actually happen for once. Oh, this arrow's value. Are you joking? Do you want to lose the game? Are you going to give me everything I ever wanted for Christmas? Oh, yes, you are. So now we go in for the Skeleton King ability, up close and personal to the tower. We snowball on the Musketeer, and the skeletons are overwhelming him. Whether it's from the Witch, whether it's from the Graveyard, or the Skeleton King, we take those towers. They're delicious, they're scrumptious, and fine. So I feel like, I don't know, I'm just really happy whenever I play this deck. Whenever you play a deck that you can constantly be bombarding your opponent with cards, it's just a vibe, you know? It's a feel. It's what I like to see. So I'm going to continue to go in for the Witch here. If he goes in for a Giant Graveyard on the other side, that might be his best choice to win the game, but I would Skeleton Army on it. Maybe that wouldn't be a good choice. I'm going to go for a Graveyard with a Giant tanking. That would be ideal as long as the skeletons don't tank for a transient period of time and we're vibing. I don't know if arrowing here would even be smart because if you consider the possibilities of him going in for a Witch counter, I feel like that's pretty strong, right? So I want to make sure that I have arrows here so we can finish off the minions and get consistent value with the arrows every single time. So rather get the guaranteed value than, you know, just wasting the unit for no reason whatsoever, if you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. I'm going to go for a Skeleton Army after he decides to arrow, and then I'll Giant here. So we've got a whole horde of skeletons on defense. They are clutching up. With 19 seconds remaining, this game is all but won already. And as you guys can see, I think that our deck right now is the superior Giant Graveyard deck. What I was talking about before with the Musketeer and Mini Pekka or Dark Prince variation, that one's good. Like the one that he's playing is pretty good, but it's not as good as Skeleton King. He's the king for a reason. Jumping into this one, you guys already know the Skeleton King refuses to fail us. We're going to wait as our opponent flails desperately because he has no elixir to defend a Giant Graveyard. That's a huge oopsie. He realizes it's an oopsie, and he spams the oopsie emoji. Are you going to get 3-crowned right now? Do you have any last words? I mean, if I Witch here, I think I'm able to kill the Night Witch. I wonder if this is the right decision. I believe it is. If I can get the Witch to spawn skeletons and do splash damage to finish off the Night Witch bats, it's totally a vibe. Because the Golem, yeah, it's going to do some damage to my tower. Oh, I thought that was a lot better for us. I thought that I could get away with the Skeleton Army to kill the Golem, and then he would explode the Golem, and then it would, you know, not do that much. But he was able to zap. I wasn't expecting zap plus lightning. Zap is not a card that you see commonly with golem decks, but this guy, you know, he operates a little bit differently. He has to have zap because he goes all in all the time. I want to go in for a Skeleton King here if possible, so that it's able to, you know, damage down these golemites for a while. And then considerably go in for a giant here with bats, and maybe even go in for a graveyard like that. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm going to graveyard first, because it takes a little bit of time for the graveyard skeletons to spawn. And then in the meantime, we can get that giant down in the middle. And the giant is still tanking for everything. Also, I'm getting the graveyard on top of the elixir collector because I just don't want that to be an issue or a point of contention for me. If I'm able to get that elixir collector out of the way, then we're vibing on a different level. I don't have enough elixir for the Skeleton King ability, but if I do get it down, we win the game. So ultimately, I wish I got the Skeleton King down, but it just didn't work out. You know, sometimes things in life just don't work out the way that you want to. Wonder if the Witch is able to finish off all the bats before we get lightning. It's going to be a lightning soon. There it is. Fine. It's still a vibe. He's not able to 3-crown me. He's not even able to take a tower. I'm able to 3-crown you by just giant graveyarding again. So there's one of those situations that you realize, okay, is my opponent doing something that's good for them? Maybe. But are they going to get screwed in the end? The answer is a resounding yes. I go in for a giant. He goes in for an elixir collector. This guy is a certified savage. He is a one wild child. I don't understand how he expected to defend that, but, you know, it's all over now. We go in for the arrows. We go in for the Skeleton King, and all we have to do is cycle back to one more ability. So, yeah, I'm just going to get back to arrows and snowball, and we walk away with the win. So, GG, man. It was a pleasure playing against you. You're going in for a gold in the middle. You got to admire the resolve. You got to admire the fact that this guy is still trying out here. I appreciate it, man. I respect it. But at the same time, you can't stop Cupid Arrow from piercing your heart, your soul, and your tower. You're falling down and you're running the craziest golem deck I've seen in a while. Wins like this are unbelievably satisfying because people that go in for a goal in the back and beat you, it doesn't feel very good. It's almost as toxic as dropping a giant graveyard at the river as your starting play. Just a little bit toxic, you know? Hey, yo, we are back in business, guys. Yay, yo. I thought his name was going to be Yo-Yo for a second. I was so excited. I was ready to play Yo-Yo with him. All right, so he's going to skeletons in the back. Weird deck selection, right? Ice Golem plus skeletons. Is this 2.6 Hog Rider? Oh, if this is 2.6 Hog Rider, you guys already know what we do. We just giant graveyard. We don't care. This is how you're supposed to play Clash Royale. You spam everything at the river, and you stand and deliver. Giant Graveyard is one of the most difficult decks to defend if you're running 2.6 Hog Rider and you just rely heavily on your Musketeer to defend. Look at the skeleton swarming you, dude. That is so much damage. Currently, 700 damage lead. We'll take that. I think he's going to pre-log. If he doesn't, I'll Skeleton Army. Okay, he doesn't pre-log. Sure, you're going to get one hit. Crazy. That's not good at all for our opponent. The fact that he didn't drop the log earlier made me a bit suspicious. I was like, huh, that's interesting. I guess he suspected that I was a good player, that I wouldn't drop my Skeleton Army immediately, so it becomes a game of mind games. Whoever gets deeper into the enemy's mind, whatever fortress will get cracked first, whatever mental fortress will get destroyed, that's the person that makes this first slip up in the log versus the Skeleton Army game. It's all mind games. That's the only thing that matters. All right, so Skeleton King plus Graveyard and Giant all at the same time. Let's see how well this works. Oh, if I Witch, Hog Rider, Ice Golem, Skeletons, Fireball, that's a ton of elixir that you just invested. That is all stuff that isn't going to counter push for you. That's ridiculous. I think the Witch is going to go in the right-hand side, too. Oh, my aspirations for her were too high. I expected too much. He logs, though. I think the Skeleton King can get an ability down. And then I just skeletons everywhere, guys. The skeletons on the left are going to tank for the Witch. The skeletons on the right are going behind the Giant. And there's going to be no tower left in sight. And all this guy, or well, actually not this guy, my people that are spectating me, all they can do is laugh. Oh, this guy's laughing at our opponent. You guys see the laughter on the right-hand side where my bats are? That's pretty funny. I'm sorry, dude. He just keeps laughing at him, and he's you know, spectating on that guy's end too, because you guys can see that there's one red spectator. His friend is laughing at him for losing. That is brutal. He's getting destroyed in the game, and he's getting destroyed mentally by that too. Oh, I want to keep up the aggression, guys. This is how I play Clash Royale. I never let up. We are not going to be remorseful. We are just securing those bags, baby. I wonder if that was a huge overcommitment. Seems not very good on my end. Skeleton King, I got a refund of the elixir that I just spent, but at the same time, how am I going to defend this Hog Rider? Wait, he doesn't have Firebolt. Wait, no, we're fine. I just arrow this. I able to shut it down completely. I should have snowballed it back further. I should have, you know, not let that lock onto my tower there. It is what it is. A lot of times I am a potato, but we realize that. And we'll make it happen for the memes. We've got the massive snowball bats witch card combination on defense. He has to fireball 2 times, and that's physically not possible. Yo, you're used to going back and forth, but you were not able to come back in this game. All right, so jumping into this one. What's up, dude? We're going to sauce out a snowball, and we already see Royale Ghost. So we're probably playing against Pekka. I wonder if he's going to have poison. I hope that you don't have poison. Don't be that toxic to me. I know poison is a toxic card by its name after all, and you've got fireball. 90% of people that you're going to be playing against in ladder and grand challenges will always be running fireball because of the instantaneous damage. So because of that, you're able to pop off. You're able to get graveyards on the tower and force out Electro Wizards, Zaps, Magic Archers, Minions, cards that they don't want to be dropping. And if the Pekka is looking at skeletons, he is going to be the saddest panda on this planet. Look at her. She's like, I don't want to have to chase skeletons. I'm a 7 elixir investor. I should be paid elixir and only be doing the big tasks. I don't want to be wasting time on defeating measly skeletons that are swarming me like crazy. So yeah, as you guys can see, skeletons are up and arms against every single Pekka player. If they've got Pekka, they don't want to be having to deal with those skeletons because there's way too much damage on you. I think if we snowball that back, we're not going to take any damage immediately from the battle ram connecting, but I do need to go for the witch. So still a tricky situation where I'm looking at the game and I'm like, all right, I could have invested my elixir a little bit better. Maybe I shouldn't have all-in so frivolously on the right-hand side at the start of the game, because now he got damage on both sides. So if it becomes a 1-1 situation, it's not as commanding of a victory as it would have been before. Ooh, witch is going to lock onto the tower. I wonder if that's good or bad for me. Yeah, this is pretty good, actually. If you're going to go for a bandit, that's way easier for me to dedicate the investment of bats plus giant and not have to worry about as much. But if you hadn't done that, I would have been considering myself and contemplating, hey, do I want to go in for a giant here, or is this a bad decision? I know that he's going to have Magic Archer, but he doesn't have Zap because he had just dropped it to the left-hand side, so we know that the Magic Archer is not going to be able to kill the skeletons in time, so we should be able to finish out all off really quickly. Also, Skeleton King pop-off combo. Come on, use the ability. Yes! He got his full ability down in time. That's amazing. With the graveyard coming in the back and the Skeleton King skeletons coming in the front, we are completely able to dissipate down everything that he has near and dear to his life. That is beautiful, because now we can Skeleton Army here too. I don't think even if he zaps, he's going to be able to take my tower. This is so good. Wow, the comeback. The comeback is happening here. We're able to go in for a giant at the river and graveyard immediately, and he's going to have to Pekka, but the Pekka's going to get distracted by skeletons. The witch might even spawn more skeletons to deal with it. The witch is locked onto the tower for more splash damage as well, and we're distracting everything, putting him into a perpetual situation where he sees never-ending skeletons spawn. I love this card, guys. I love the Skeleton King. I love the graveyard. I love the sadistic synergy that we have together to make sure that our opponent is living in an endless spam of his own personal hell. GG, well played, and peace out, buddy. All right, we got a game against Carnage. Dude, you're foreshadowing what's coming. You're foreshadowing your future. We got to fulfill the prophecy and go and drop the Giant Graveyard. Usually, you don't do this with any other deck, but Giant Graveyard, when you've got arrows, when you've got Snowball, you have multifarious ways of eliminating any of your opponent's answers and distractions to your massive amount of damage. Look at that. We kill an Electro Wizard, we bait out a Snowball. That's already a 6 elixir investment that gives no counter push whatsoever, and the Inferno Dragon is going to get trounced by bats. So if you look at the game and you look at how it's going for us, it's going pretty well. But I was also lying to you for a second. I totally thought the Electro Wizard was just going to get finished off so that I wouldn't have to spend any extra elixir with the arrows. So in a dream world scenario, that would have been better for us. Not going to lie, we really had hoped and prayed that the Electro Wizard would have been destroyed as the first card for us. Oh, Fisherman, you're going to lock onto skeletons the entire time. You buffoon. You are not going to get any big catches today. You're just going to catch these L's, man. You're catching these hands. And now, when you decide to go opposite lane, when your opponent doesn't have the Inferno Dragon, how do they expect to stop this? Oh, he's got poison. Okay. All right. I'm here for it, man. I'm ready for the action. I actually think this will be more of an exciting game because thought that would be a free win, but now we're playing against someone that activates King Tower. That's got poison. This is where we challenge ourselves. The last couple of games were so easy that, you know, we need something. I need to feel alive, guys. We need some challenge out here. So I'm going to Skeleton Army first and foremost. It's going to bait out a lot of extra elixir from our opponent. He's going to have to use some spell to eliminate it. If you're just going for a Night Witch, that'd be weird. I don't think you're just going to use a Night Witch, right? There's no way that you just use a Night Witch. Really? Oh my gosh, I'm able to kill that and then use the Skeleton King ability. And I don't know if the Night Witch is going to stay alive. I don't think so. I don't even know if the tower is able to stop that in time. No, dude, that's damage. Despite him having a King Tower activated with Night Witch bats and 2 towers shooting at it, we killed the Night Witch and did damage to the tower. If you guys don't think that Skeleton King is by far the best champion right now, you're tripping. After the nerfs to the other one, Skeleton King also deserved a nerf, but it didn't get it. So Clash Royale, you're tripping right now. You need to figure out to nerf this card correctly, because if you leave it as is, even if my opponent's got poison, even if they've got fishermen, even if they've got a pretty good, deck to counter me traditionally, I don't think they can counter me. I don't think that much does beat this deck. So, gonna be able to kill the Electro Wizard with the skeletons just spawning here. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm really wild. Yeah, I overcommitted there. Not gonna lie. But let's see if this deck saves me. If I'm an idiot, if I play poorly, can I win against a hard counter while not playing my best? If that's possible, then I don't know what to say. So I'm just going to go for a graveyard here. I might want to go in for snowball and arrows as the time gets closer. Usually you want to rely heavily on the giant in this type of situation, because he'll be able to poison every single time against the graveyard, so the graveyard isn't going to be able to reliably give you damage. Wait, the witch didn't lock onto the tower there, did it? I was hoping it would splash onto the Electro Wizard and the tower at the same time. I don't remember if that happened correctly or not, but it is what it is. I'm going to use the Skeleton King ability when we get up close and personal to the tower. I might be able to take the entire left-hand tower or bait out a Mega Knight. Whichever happens is fine for me. I don't care at this point. I'm going to use a Giant and a Graveyard and immediately follow up with the Skeleton King whenever I can afford to. So, I don't know if I'm able to immediately. I need to go in for a Skeleton Army instead. Yeah, I'm going to Skeleton Army and pull the Mega Knight to the point that it's not going to be able to jump onto our tower. And then I can arrow cycle him out from full. Am I literally just going to arrow and snowball you out? That's the most painful way to get spell cycle, because it barely does any damage. It's not like a rocket cycle, Oh, man. He's still in contention for this game, though, which is, I guess, the scary part, because he could get one marvelous Mega Knight push coming down and win the game off of that, but I'll try my hardest to make that not happen. Snowball on top of the Night Witch bats, and he's going to pull it closer. Oh my gosh, he's going to pull the Giant closer to the tower. He literally pulled the Giant closer to the tower. What is this guy thinking? We're swarming him with skeletons in the front. The frontal assault with the skeletons and the Skeleton King and the Witch is way too strong. We are literally overpowering a Mega Knight with the King Tower activated. This is absurd. This is ridiculous. We're going for another graveyard. Can I just keep graveyarding you? We're not even letting you cross the river because we have the ultimate skeleton factory with 3 witches on defense. This is absurd. Wow. Guys, I just beat someone with Fisherman and Poison when we're running a graveyard deck. If this isn't a testament to how strong the deck is, I don't know what is. You need to start playing this Witch Graveyard deck today. A lot of you guys won't have Skeleton King leveled up, so you'll have to be playing it in Classic or Grand Challenges, but it's a perfect way to level up your cards. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your day.